Welcome back, everyone. It's Aric from Rare Candy, and today we are back checking out the new Gardevoir card at the request of one of our patrons, Aric, over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg. So basically, depending on how much our patrons pledge, one of the perks is they can put in their requests to have their video ideas covered on the channel. Aric wanted to see Gardevoir, so that is what we have today. So if you guys want to learn about how to have a bigger say over the content that comes out on this channel and help support it in the process, I'll have a link down below in the description. But before we get any deeper in today's video, a couple more plugs. If you guys can't, remember to crush that like button. Help us beat my mortal enemy, the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you need any cards to complete this deck or any others, you can check out our friends at PTCGO Use that coupon code RARECANDY at checkout to save yourself some money. And also, Aric and the rest of our patrons have their own exclusive discount code for even bigger savings as well. But getting back into today's deck, let's check out Gardevoir. So Gardevoir, this is kind of a card that's like right up my alley. This is kind of my ideal play style of a card, though I wish it was a little bit more competitive. But let's check it out. Shining Aura, you get to, or I'm sorry, Shining Arcana, my bad. Once during your turn, you may look at the top two cards of your deck, attach a number of basic energy you find there to your Pokemon, then put the other cards in your hand. So it's kind of like Intrepid Sword. You know, your reach isn't quite as deep. You only get 2 cards instead of 3, but you don't have to end your turn, and this stacks. So if you actually get 4 Gardevoir in play, you can actually go through a ton of cards with this and accelerate some energy in the process. So of course, the attack is synergy here with this ability, 60 plus 30 for each psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. So it's actually kind of like a budget Shadow Rider if you want to think about it that way. Brainwave, unfortunately, I don't think is quite as good as the attack on Calyrex, but you know, it's what we got to work with. It's what we're going to be experimenting with today. Now, we do have some other important cards in here, but you have the one Gallade. This is kind of a quick answer to Eternatus if we do go against something like that. 60 for each of our opponent's Pokemon be in play. So sometimes this can be nice at, you know, cheesing yourself a KO out of nowhere. But if you do notice, we are playing the full 4 count of Kirlia, and Kirlia has the Mirage Step attack. You search your deck for up to 3 Kirlia, put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. So like the old water duplicates from Frogadier from many sets ago. So yeah, Kirlia is really nice at helping flood your board full of these Kirlias and help get your evolutions into play a little bit quicker. That being said, I am still electing to play 3 copies of Rare Candy, just because some turns you might want to expedite your evolution process and maybe get a Gardevoir into play to start drawing some cards. And also sometimes you might just need an attacker a little bit quicker. So I am still playing the 3 copies of Rare Candy. So we also have the 2 copies of Cresselia in the deck for the Crescent Glow attack. Of course, if we go second, we can accelerate 3 energies from deck to one of our Pokemon. And the attack here, just a nice little 120 if we have 5 energy in play, which isn't too hard most of the time with this deck, luckily. And we also have the Ranger for the Primate Wisdom ability. We can put a card from hand on top of our deck. And the reason we want to do this is we can put energy there and then accelerate that with Gardevoir. So getting into our trainer cards, I will admit this trainer lineup was kind of awkward to get to a point that I kind of enjoyed it. So let's take a look at our supporters first. We have 4 Marnie. That's going to be our primary method of drawing cards. You know, you could play Research. I've been back and forth on having Research in this deck, but I think the Marnie is fine. Even though 5 isn't as good as 7, we can kind of offset that with our Gardevoir. So between Gardevoir and Marnie, I think we can actually see plenty of cards in a turn, but instead of playing Research, Marnie allows us to disrupt our opponent though, so that's the upside to the heavy Marnie count. We of course have the 2 Brunos, fantastic card for a single prize deck like this. Shuffle and draw 7 if our opponent took a knockout. But we have 3 copies of Birdkeeper. So the reason we're playing Birdkeeper, we switch and draw 3 cards, is to be able to use Cresselia a little bit more reliably. I had versions of this deck that had, you know, very high counts of Cresselia. So what I opted to do was cut my Cresselia line down a little bit, but add more switching methods to be able to find it easier. Because really, you don't need more than 2 Cresselia in a game. Usually 1 is the max I find myself using. So between Bird Keepers and Air Balloons, we should be able to get in Cresselia when we need it. Of course, we also have the 3 copies of EXP Share in addition to Air Balloon. This is going to be a way we can preserve our energies in play and make sure that we can always be attacking with a Gardevoir whenever we want to. The rest of our trainer cards are going to be pretty straightforward. So yeah, guys, this is going to be the list we are going to be trying out today. You know, this is not quite as good as Calyrex, so we'll have to see if we can get, you know, a win on the ladder today. But fingers crossed, let's see if we can get some wins here. Okay, let's call the coin flip here. Which we win, but I think we are going to choose to go second. Now, our opponent has a Mewtwo coin, so I'm not sure how much that's going to tell us about what we're playing against, but this opening hand, actually not too bad. And they're going to mulligan. That's really good. Any extra card we can get is really going to help us out here. Guzman Hala. Evolution Incense. Is this like Orbeetle? I'm trying to figure out what we're playing against. I mean, it could be Rapid Strike, maybe? Some sort of VMAX, I'm assuming, if they're playing Evolution Incense. Oh, Dragapult. Oh, this is not good. This is definitely not good for our deck at all. Yeah, this is like Dragapult, ADP. Well, I'll say this, Dragapult and Zacian variants are probably the decks we want to play against the least of anything out there. So, just a warning, guys. I think we're probably going to lose this more than likely. Just because Max Phantom, I think that's the attack on the VMAX. It's just so good against these little, like, one prize, low HP evolving basic decks like this. So, definitely going to be very important that we attack with Kirlia. Okay. So, I think I actually kind of want to put back the Kirlia here. Since we have the Candy Gardevoir ready to go. So I'm just going to grab a Cresselia. Go for the Bird Keeper. Okay. Oh no, we do not have energy. Feels bad. We play 3 Fog Crystal, 12 basic Psychics. Haven't seen one. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this feels really bad. Okay. So... we could attempt to go for a Rangaroo. But then we lose our draw engine. Well, we could Level Ball, then communicate that. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that. So we'll grab Ralts. Oh, should have checked to make sure our Rangaroo is in deck. That is actually really important too. Otherwise, feels bad. Okay, luckily a Rangaroo is in deck. And we will Primate Wisdom. We'll put back an Air Balloon, because if we get Fog Crystal, I don't want to put back our evolution pieces. And there we go. The Rangaroo coming in clutch here. I think I'm just going to say screw it and get all 3 energy. Because if they don't knock out poor little Ralts, which unfortunately I am half expecting, we will be able to just retreat, start attacking with Gardevoir. Then putting down the Mewtwo also really good for us because it is weak to Psychic. There's Gengar Mimikyu, Fog Crystal. So let's see what route they're going to go here. Are they going to attempt to attack us with Gengar Mimikyu and try to stall with Horror House? And it looks like that is what they might do. There's Escape Rope. I'm honestly cool with that. So sure, we'll just promote the Rangaroo. That seems best. Okay, so our opponent must not have a particularly great start if they're burning their GX attack like this. Okay, so I'll Permeate Wisdom. We're going to put the Bruno back on top of deck in case of a Marnie. We can at least draw into a draw supporter here. And just pass. So hopefully no boss or anything like that on poor little Ralts or a way to knock it out. That's what we are kind of dreading right now. But honestly, I might just attack with Cresselia if we have the option. Okay, there's Fog Crystal, so at the very least, they can get a knockout on a Rangaroo. Just hope they don't have a boss. That's the big thing. Okay, there's the Poltergeist. So Ralts remain safe. That's the important thing here. So let's promote Cresselia. Okay, so we'll go rare candy over here. Attachment. We'll get down air balloon. No, we might want to save that for EXP share. And just go for the Bruno. Okay, so our deck is doing okay. So, Ralts. Kirlia. Let's go for another Kirlia. Just keep thinning a little bit more. Hopefully we can draw into a supporter here for next turn maybe. Oh, well. Shining Arcana, okay. I mean, we can actually play down our hand really low in terms of our trainer cards, so this actually might work out really good for us. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll get down another Ralts. And yeah, they can hit us for 50, but I'm not really worried about that. I want to save our Ordinary Rod, though. So for the moment, we'll just go for the Photon Laser, and I'm feeling actually kind of good about the spot that our deck is in. I think the sketchiest part of this is like just surviving long enough without Dragapult VMAX just ravaging your whole board. And I think we've kind of passed that. I think we've kind of passed that point in the game. Ooh, there's a reset stamp. That feels bad. I mean, the plus side is we might get a supporter. Yeah. So they are going to knock us out, but at least we can use Ornate Rod to get back. Well, our EXP shares are keeping our energy, so we actually don't need to Ornate Rod. Alrighty, so let's just go with Gardevoir over here. Okay. I wouldn't mind getting back a Rangaroo, actually. But I think I'm going to prioritize getting Gardevoir here. So let's just grab Cresselia. Communicate this back. For another Gardevoir. We do have another Ornate Rod. So actually, I kind of want to go for the Rangaroo this turn. With our Ornate Rod. But at the same time, I don't think we really need to. I'm going to save the Ornate Rod. And oh, they've still not played a supporter, so maybe we shouldn't go for the Marnie here. So Shining Arcana. Get Kirlia, that's good. Shining Arcana again. We do hit energy. That's also really solid. So I think I'm actually just going to work on setting up a giant Gardevoir, maybe. I don't hate that. We'll see if we can successfully pull that off. I'm not sure, but... So we'll Bird Keeper over into Kirlia over here. Air Balloon. Retreat. Do we have another Kirlia in deck? We might. I forget. Hey, we do have a Kirlia. That works. Okay, so I mean, man, I feel like it's gonna be hard to lose this one at this point, guys. So yeah, just go for the knockout on Gengar Mimikyu, and actually we're just a boss away from winning. If they don't get like a weakness guard energy on this Mewtwo or a Jirachi GX or something like that in play, we're gonna be looking pretty good. And we have another Gardevoir here in hand already, so yeah, I think this is our game to win at this point. There's a Mew. Don't really care about that. We see a Cresselia from our opponent. So it looks like they're playing some sort of like psychic toolbox, I imagine. Yeah, all sorts of stuff in here. So it almost kind of looks like a Shadow Rider deck with like a thin Dragapult line. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's a Dragapult deck, but just with a thin Shadow Rider line to ensure they never miss their attachments. Okay, but they're going to attach to Mew. Very interesting. Okay, so we have not played a single boss yet. We're going to have 3 Gardevoirs in place. We might even be able to... make that happen. And we top deck the boss, guys, but before we get there, let's see how crazy we can get this turn going. How much energy can we possibly stack? So far none. I mean, we have a ton of energy in hand and in play, so we might not be able to make it too much crazier than this. But that's fine, guys. We can just boss up the Mewtwo. That's going to be the game, so we will happily take it. Gardevoir's going to come in with the Brain Wave with the KO hitting for weakness, and that is going to be all she wrote for the Psychic Toolbox Shadow Rider deck. I don't know. Okay, so our opponent has a Dark deck box, kind of rooting for... I wouldn't say rooting for, but maybe. Yeah, maybe we're rooting for Eternatus. We have the Gallade, so we could easily nuke them if needed. So unfortunately, we don't have the turn 1 Cresselia, which feels bad, but is what it is. So the Arc and Mulligan, that's good, but it's gonna be ADP, dude. I've been playing Gardevoir, and the night before I record this video, played against a ton of different decks. But as soon as I go to record, I've like played against 3 or 4 on the ladder already today, just in my like recording session I've been doing. And yeah, it's like impossible to beat ADP with this deck. So we'll put Kirlia back in deck because we do want to draw back into Kirlia. Grab Ralts. I could even go for a Rangaroo, which I don't hate, to be honest. Yeah, let's do that. It's actually, in hindsight, maybe we should have put Gardevoir back, then Primate Wisdom Kirlia on top of deck. But it's probably okay though. Not a particularly great hand, guys. So yeah, we'll put probably, I don't like, if we get a search card, what card do we not mind going back into our deck? Probably Gardevoir. I think I'm cool with that. Okay, so it's sketchy. So this is where it probably would have been good for us to get the second Ralts. But my thinking was, you know what? We're going to Marnie. We're going to get 5 cards, plus a Rangaroo. We have kind of okay odds of finding another way at getting another Ralts. And getting the Rangaroo in play early means that it can help our consistency when getting set up. So I don't hate the Rangaroo play, even in hindsight, but can we get a Tails on Alter Creation? That's like the only... but they have the switch, of course, guys. I mean, if they have an energy switch, that also feels bad. I think there's just like no combination of cards that we want to see. If there's a boss, okay. I'm actually happy about boss because I didn't want a Bruno. Now we can Bird Keeper. Hey, there we go. Okay, so we do have Level Ball. We can get Kirlia. We didn't prize any Kirlias as well, so that's good. But I'm still pretty confident we are going to get destroyed this game. So let's go for the Fog Crystal. I think we'll grab a Ralts here. I'm going to put an energy back in deck as well. That's too late. I don't want to draw on a Kirlia. I'm gonna be really mad if we draw on a Kirlia here. Okay, so just an energy. Basically my thought process, I want to put energy back into our deck. That way Gardevoir has a better chance of hitting energy. But let's just do this. Go for the Mirage step. I mean, if nothing else, guys, we'll show off how the deck is supposed to function in a matchup where it's not like an auto loss. So things are still kind of going okay for us in terms of like how the deck is getting set up. This is how the deck is kind of supposed to work. So they are going to get rid of H/, getting a Dark Energy. It's fine. And here's where we start losing. There's the ultimate ray. I mean, as you'll see, we're going to draw a ton of cards this turn. Now, one thing I do struggle with is Brunoing before or after we use Shining Arcana, because if we use Bruno, there's a chance we draw into a bunch of Psychic Energy, and I don't want that, actually. But we have a Ranger, so maybe it's okay to do. Alright, so there's Curlia. There's another Ralts. Do we want to attack with Gallade or Gardevoir? I think more than likely Gallade, actually. It requires less energy, it allows us to keep our draw engine. Yeah, I'm gonna say sure. So we'll Primate Wisdom. We'll put back our Psychic Energy. So we'll attach there. Get Ralts down. Sure. Yeah, actually, maybe in hindsight, should have done all this after we Brunoed. I don't know. I think I will do it before Brunoing, though, just because, guys, I really don't want to draw into energy off of the Bruno. Okay. So we whiff there. Now we could try to... I don't think it matters, guys. I'm definitely overthinking this one a little too much, just because we're going to lose anyways. It's ADP. So we'll do this. I think at this point we just kind of want to see... I think we want to find EXP share more than anything. So I'm actually just going to discard this. Don't really care about communication. We have 2 Gardevoirs, so we can draw extra cards if we do need to. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll just go for the Dynablade here. Really wish we would have got the EXP share. Because now we're in a spot where we actually have to... We have to get 5 energy, I think, on a Gardevoir to get a KO. So which means we have to candy this thing. Which is definitely possible. We have a rare candy. We have 2 Gardevoirs and an Oranguru, plus Bird Keeper. So, yeah, we'll Bird Keeper over to this thing. Man, if we would have used Shining Arcana, we would have been in such a good spot. Like, we need to keep using Gardevoir, but we also need to draw into... We have to hit energy and draw into our... and draw into another Gardevoir, so... I think that's going to be tough for us, guys. So, Shining Arcana. We do get another Gardevoir. That's good. So, Candy... See, Shining Arcana again. Okay, we do get energy and EXP share. We're still losing. We're still going to lose no matter what, guys, but we're going to play it out just to kind of show off how the deck is supposed to work. So, Primate Wisdom, put this back on top of deck. Shining Arcana yet again. I mean, we got EXP shares, all sorts of good stuff. But yeah, it still feels bad. Like, if this was against any other matchup, like, this actually wouldn't be a bad board spot to have, because our opponent would not have 2 prizes. But yeah, we'll at least take a knockout on the ADP to get revenge for all the prizes it has taken against us, unfortunately. But yeah, so this is why Gardevoir probably is not going to be taking down your next tournament, as long as ADP at the very least is in the format. I think post-rotation this deck still has some issues too, but the engine itself does still kind of feel good. Once you get like 2 to 3 Gardevoirs in play, you can just turbo through your deck. Whoa, whoa. I think our opponent's like letting us have a KO. I think they're being nice to us. We'll take it though. I'm not going to turn that down, that's for sure. So yeah, well, Shining Arcana. Very nice of them to maybe give us an extra KO before they take the game. Primate Wisdom. We'll put this back. Shining Arcana again. Hey, we get 2 more. Attach for turn. Viridian. Toss away this thing. Don't really care about that. I'm just going to burn all these cards. We really don't need them. Get down to Mew. Why not? We could play support. It doesn't really matter though. So I think we're just going to go for the Brainwave. Take the easy KO on Dedenne. And I'm sure our opponent's going to come in and nuke us. Very nice of them to at least offer up the extra prize before they took their win. So yeah, there we go. Moltres going to come in, destroy our poor Guardy. But yeah. That is how things go against ADP. This is your best case scenario. Your opponent feels generous enough to give you an extra KO because they feel so bad about how horrible this matchup is for your deck. Alrighty guys, thanks so much for coming by, checking out this Gardevoir deck today. I know this isn't the most competitive thing out there. It is definitely like, you know, you order Shadow Rider off Wish, this is what you get in the mail sort of dynamic. But that being said, I mean, it's still a fun deck. Corellia does bring back memories of the old Greninja deck. It's kind of a unique mechanic that we have right now. And Gardevoir, I think, is just kind of a fun card. This is definitely my personal favorite playstyle of deck. It just happens to not be the best right now. But either way, I think this video, if nothing else, is kind of a good at educating on why Gardevoir is not the most competitive right now, which I think it still is important. A lot of people might see cards like this and think they look pretty good, but again, once you see them in action, it kind of becomes apparent why they probably won't be very competitive. But either way, that's the video. Thanks so much again to our patron Aric for requesting this video, and to all you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy watching me get destroyed with Gardevoir today, be sure to smack that like button if for nothing else out of pity. And also be sure to sub to the channel with those notifications turned on. That way you'll stay up to date whenever my next video drops. Or if you guys want to take your support to the next level, you can also become a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg or pick up some merch at rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.